excited to get my portfolio reviewed.
Yeah. Let's let me get this open here. I mean, it looks pretty good. Do you want to introduce yourself and talk about how you got into what you're doing and what you want to do and all the things?
Yeah, sure. So I went to SCAD and I graduated in 2018. And then since then, I did a little bit of freelance work with Kitbash 3D. That's like the project on my portfolio. And then uh, I actually submitted this, and then I have a junior role with Turn 10 now. So
Oh. Oh man, I used to be at Turn 10.
yeah, I mentioned in the interview, and they were like, "Oh, do you remember Jeremy?" So they remember you. Yeah,
That's hilarious. Oh man, that was
yeah,
ages ago.
yeah,
That's awesome though. Congratulations on that.
yeah. Thank you.
So, okay, so I mean, I guess what are you doing there without saying what you're doing there?
Oh, so sort of a generalist at this point,
Mm,
and then a little bit of material specialty.
okay, cool. And when I look here, it's just you're saying texture artist. So,
Yeah.
um, how long have you been doing like texture work? Is it just designer or like are you?
Well, I started out, a couple of these projects are like I used Painter, like that one's definitely Painter.
Mm,
Um, Same with the chair, it's all Painter. And then I know for like the Tom Conan house, I didn't quite know how to use Designer at the time, so I did it all like Painter, Photoshop stuff. And then the rest since then has been a lot of Designer.
wait, which one were you saying? Sorry, I'm like
The
looking at the.
Indonesian Tom Conan,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
that
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was
And
it
that
was
was
it the
like
roof details that made you want to do this?
I didn't really know what I was doing, so I like painted all those patterns by hand in Photoshop. And then looking back
No.
at it, I'm like, wow, I really could have done this in Designer.
Holy cow, that's intense. Wait, how did you do these
Yeah.
patterns on the sides here? Is that all?
Yeah, that was all hand painted at the
Oh my
time.
god.
It's kind of ridiculous, but it was really fun.
I mean, it makes it more authentic, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. Okay, so there's the Colorado Grove space. So this one's
Yeah.
2 years ago. So like,
Yeah.
okay, when we look at your portfolio, there's like a lot of this is like you've got the texturing with the sword and the chair, and then you've got
Yeah.
these materials and a building, and then you have an
Yeah.
environment as well. With like,
Mhm.
at what point was it like, okay, I want to do textures? Like, is the Colorado space, is this, because I haven't
Yeah,
read
I
through it. Oh,
kind
you were
of
with
I,
Huxley. That's cool. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I did the CJ May thing. And then I kind of got into designer like for the first time doing this vegetation stuff, like
Mm.
messing with the tree bark, different different things. And then I decided that I really liked it. I actually did like a material challenge, like the one of the monthly challenges for
Hmm.
like the Roman tiles, and then I really liked it. So I kept going with designer, and then yeah, I really liked the workflow.
Awesome. Yeah, because there's this the floor tile one here.
Yeah, that was the monthly challenge. Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, this is, it's quite interesting because like when you look at this, it's you're putting so much information into a single tile. I guess it was like,
Right.
if I were to say, if that was my feedback for this type of material, it's to figure out how
Mhm.
to make it, how to make this pattern tile earlier, so that way like if it was a scan, the camera would have been closer. You know what I mean? That way
Right,
you
right.
get more information in there. Because what this would have to be like a, I don't know, what is it? What's the res of this? This would be like a
Oh, I
4K
think it
texture.
was yeah, I think it was 4K.
Yeah. And I think in games today, like you may get like 2K, maybe 4K, depending on like, I guess if the game was starting today, production wise, you could probably do a 4K ground. But
Right,
it
right.
really depends on like how it's, like what they're authoring for and how the game is going to play and whatnot. Because
Yeah,
a lot of
definitely.
times you're going to put decals and stuff on top and break it up with propping and all that. But this
Yeah.
stuff's super cool.
Thanks.
So okay, so you went from that, then it looks like you did some stuff for Kit Bash.
Yeah. So that was like a collection of skyscrapers, and so I went through and picked out different materials from New York skyscrapers, then just kind of broke it up, and then all the assigning on the buildings and stuff.
So this is more of like a I'd say this is probably more technical, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of checking textile density and like applying everything correctly. And my favorite part was creating all the materials.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you had to do the rest of it.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, yeah, materials, and then okay, now the rest of it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is super cool. I mean, like it's interesting because when you look at the buildings from a distance like this, it's like
Hmm.
there's this balance of contrast in the material where you don't want it to look like you can see the pattern,
Right.
but then when you get close, you need to be able to see it. So
Right. Yeah.
there's this
It's
battle
kind
of
of tricky.
contrast. Yeah.
Yeah. And especially because they were like, some of them were like tons and tons of stories tall. So it was difficult to like manage the tiling for the specific one.
Mm,
Especially like the one on the left is absolutely massive. Like the building.
dang. Oh, they're all telling me in chat, Lod's Dynasty. I mean, sure, sure, if you want to do those manually. Yeah, these look really cool though. So did you have to model the buildings as well? Is that what you said?
No, I
Mm,
worked with someone who did the models, so I
okay.
just did the assigning and stuff.
Yeah, for the skyscraper design. So Aaron, looks like Aaron Austin.
Yeah, yeah, he did the concept, and then Austin Hernandez did all the modeling.
Nice. Yeah, if they have an art station, I would say just tag them in here. I don't know
Mm,
if how
okay.
much you've done tagging like that. Just
Oh,
in the
okay. Yeah, I think I.
description. Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because if you put their art station URL at the end of the
Mm,
post, it'll just drop in as like a interesting visual link. Those are pretty cool. So it
okay.
shows their art, and then yeah, it's just that's where you would
Awesome.
expect to see other people's stuff.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, let's look at this. Dang, this looks kind of crazy. Oh wow, man, I love seeing this type of render when it's just like
Yeah.
when it's just the material surface with the roughness.
Yeah, I like it too. It's kind of fun, like the detail lighting.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a detail lighting pass, definitely.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So this one, I'm just trying to read through here a little bit. Man, experience points in our server. It's crazy how much feedback people get from us.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Is
posting this one all the time
yeah.
at the time. Yeah.
So is there anything that you were fighting when you were making that material? Because I mean, we're getting to the end of the materials. I'm just kind of curious, like where things are heading for you, because it looks like you're just full
Right.
on texture mode
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, this one did all with like SVG, which is kind of
Hmm.
crazy. I don't know, but it was a lot of fun. I like kind of the like tedious sort of work, but I did really enjoy like creating the patterns and getting it all to tile and stuff.
Yeah.
And I had like a greater project that I was working on. Like I wanted to create this environment, but so a couple of the materials on my portfolio are for this environment, but it's kind of
Right.
been like on hold. Yeah.
Oh man, I know that feeling. Like I don't even. I think I've got 30 scenes that'll never see the light of day.
Yeah.
They're
That's
gone.
that's what
They're
it's
just
looking like.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, it's totally fine as well. Don't let that
Mm,
melt in the back of your brain.
right.
Um, all right, so man, this is so. I think when we start looking through this stuff, like the Moroccan tile generator work,
Mhm.
this is when you really start to see. I think that you're pushing. Oh, I can hear myself a little bit. Am I on a speaker?
Oh. Uh no, but I can mute myself if you can hear it.
Oh, weird. It wasn't happening before. but
Oh, geez.
no, it's fine. Yeah. So when I'm looking at this is pretty interesting. Seeing you get this all set up and just kind of working as like a tool. So this is more
Mhm.
technical.
Yeah.
How did you feel about this type of stuff? Because this is completely.
This
Yeah. Go ahead.
that was like my most recent. So I had a lot of fun doing it, and I wanted to kind of make it all. I think first and foremost that it could all tile, and you could scale everything up and down. Then after that I wanted to add like controls for the tiles and damage and stuff.
Yeah. This is really cool. Did you got people in chat saying this is some Ben Wilson type stuff?
That's a huge compliment.
You're like, yo. I mean the color choices that you have on these patterns is like it's really cool. Oh man, yeah. If Ben's in chat, he would. I think he might appreciate this organization you've got going on here.
Yeah, it did initially look like that, but I figured if I should post a picture of it, that it should be organized.
You clean it up, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah, I
mean,
did.
it. The thing is though, is like when you work on stuff like this. Oh yeah, you're getting some nice comments in here. When you work on stuff like this in a production scenario, you're gonna have other
Mhm.
material artists with you, right? Like
Yeah.
in a perfect world, you have a material art team, and in
Mhm.
that team, they all have to kind of work the same way in the graphs because, like, let's say some so and so is out sick, and you're gonna help them like finish their material they're working on, or
Right.
you have to be able to go in and edit someone's stuff for feedback that came in from an outside studio or just from art direction or whatnot. And to be able to
Mhm.
read someone else's graph is super important. That
Right.
stuff is like
Yeah.
that's the bread and butter of I think material artists when it comes to operating
Right.
in a team
Yeah, I've
production
definitely gone
sense.
back to old graphs of mine and then being like, I can't even read my own graph. And so, you know, as I did it more, as it did, I did it more, it's like, well, I got to stay organized or I'm not going to know what I was even doing.
Yeah, it becomes difficult to reread your own stuff as well, right? It's like
Yeah.
taking notes that are all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Eric in chat said Ben's DinComp video put that into perspective. Yeah, that's a. I don't know if you've watched that yet, but Ben's talk he did was talking about stuff like that, like organizing your materials
Right.
and whatnot. But yeah, no,
Definitely give that look. Yeah.
these colors are. I'm really digging. Where is it? This one. It's like the detail render with the green and blue and or there's just
Thank
great
you.
colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. I did a lot of like had a lot of fun of looking at different references and stuff. So yeah, I did color pick all those from different style
Mm.
pictures.
But yeah, let's see what. So medieval house material breakdown.
Yeah.
So I when I clicked on this, this is what I built the thumbnail after. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
for your portion of the video, and it's like I'm looking at this, and you're getting more technical again. Is this
Right.
like is this a pattern that I'm seeing, or is this like you're just trying to take your
So
materials further?
yeah, so this one I worked with actually my boyfriend Clay
Mm,
Berry Hill, and so he did all the models, and so for me it was like a good opportunity to really break down, like get into specifically materials and like making sure that the walls and stuff had nice blends. That was kind of the focus for me on this one.
yeah.
Just like, kind of incorporating substance designer textures in like like a house environment,
Hmm.
with enough variation and breakup and stuff.
Oh yeah, you're using Unreal 5 in this as well, so you couldn't use
Yeah.
displacement, right?
No, yeah, I used pixel depth offset at the time.
Yeah, 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 and that does wonders
Yeah, it
for getting that depth.
actually really helped towards the end, yeah. That is a really high poly wall too for
Yeah, I'm
the
looking at
video.
the vert count and I'm like,
Yeah, it's pretty high. For the actual building itself, I used RGB masking in like Substance Painter. So it's like it's not technically a vertex blend on the building. I like switched the shader out and did like a custom mask for like the building itself so that they can still be low poly.
So wait, you were approaching this as basically a material and texture artist, and your boyfriend
Yeah.
built everything?
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah, it was a
Cause
fun
yeah,
opportunity.
yeah, that's pretty cool. Um, I think so. Eric in chat was asking, do you think that these could split the house itself and the materials? I think because of the dynamics between the two. Oh yeah, so you linked Clay's account
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
that
So he's
yeah.
got a lot of pictures of the house itself.
Okay. But yeah, I was just saying like they're so interlinked together with
Mhm.
how the materials are informing the building and the building's informing the materials that I think it should just be one post like you have it now.
Right. Mhm.
Um when it comes to that vert, this is why I don't know if you ever watch the streams, but in my streams I like to use masks,
Mhm.
and it's because the masks allow for that resolution. Um,
Right.
where instead of each vert, you can do like each pixel corner. So like if it's a
Right.
512 mask, you're already looking at a ton of quote unquote verts, like pixel. I guess you could call them pixel verts. That's not the technical way of looking at it,
Right.
but yeah. And you're using. You said you were using masks, but are you using masks as like? You said you're using masks for the building separate from the stone. Is this all vertex painted, or when you
No,
say
so
masks, what
that's
do you
all
mean?
actually masks. Like, so
Okay.
it's I painted them in Substance Painter,
Oh, okay, cool.
just with like red, green, blue, and then for the videos I did the vertex blending. I don't know why I
Ah,
broke it up that way, but I just did it that specific way just for the videos.
okay. So like when I look at the when I look at this, I'm gonna
Yeah,
immediately assume that they're
yeah, they're all like super high poly
yeah, I'm gonna
vertex
assume that
them.
they're vertex
Right.
painted.
Yeah.
Hmm. I'm trying to. Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm not sure how you would display that. I mean, I guess if you were to show the blending setup, but then at the same time, somewhere in here, you need to show like the packed mask that you were doing uh to blend between materials. Because like when you're doing these blends, are you also like interpolating with the height map that you're using for the pixel depth offset for the palm or whatnot? Do you know what I mean? Oh, wait, did you forget you're muted oh, you're typing now. Why are you typing? I'm I'm muted on Discord. I think you're. I'm like, no, you're muted. Okay, we're having technical difficulties now. The drama's real. Okay, she just jumped out. She's probably coming back in. Hello.
Does this work?
Yeah, you're good.
Can you Okay.
Ooh, I can tell there's a connection. The your maybe your data's lower. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
But no, I was saying like, is there in your mask that you made for this? Is it
Mhm.
interpolating with the height map in order to like help with the material blending between stuff, so it's not too soft?
I think no. It is like sort of I think in the shader I think it actually might be. I built the shader to kind of blend, but I did hand paint the masks in Substance, so I don't know how much it's actually doing that.
Right. Yeah, because like when I see when you're painting in here, at least with the vertex one, like where the
Mhm.
edges transition, it's a pretty smooth gradient to like the next material. And I think
Mhm.
if you can multiply or blend the height map to be feeding with the either vertex painting or the mask that you painted in Substance Painter, you're gonna get a
Mhm.
much more like natural breakup in like where the mask like falls and where it becomes brick and where it becomes like the I don't know the stucco.
Yeah.
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 Oh, the
Yeah, that's a really good
wattle
point.
dam.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're it looks like you're just going down this road. the it's very clear where you're heading and what you're doing, and you've already got a job as well. Is it what are you trying to focus on now?
I think my favorite project was definitely the medieval house. So I
Yeah,
enjoyed creating all the materials and definitely liked kind of incorporating it with Unreal and creating the shaders and stuff.
right. So it's just more of like just more shaders, more materials.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you have a project that's going now?
No, not currently. I kind of did the Moroccan tiles and then
Hmm.
ended up getting a job. So I'm kind of in between stuff right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine like don't forget to like relax and enjoy the fact that you got in. You don't have to like immediately charge into battle again to build the portfolio up.
Right, right.
But is there like do you have any specific questions that you want to dive into or
I mean, I am looking for new projects to do. What do you think? I don't know.
oh,
What do you think would be
like what
cool?
type of project to do?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
when it, when I look at material art stuff, it's like you've got spheres, right? And I always see
Mhm.
materials on spheres. I think if you could do material studies that are like blending stuff, I find
Yeah.
that super intriguing. So it's like if you just did a close up of like a curb and like a drain
Mhm.
that goes, it goes from the curb, the road, and then you have a drain piece, and then water goes into that, and all of the materials blending together and like getting that masks to work well and just making it look really integrated and like everything's kind of intermixing with each other. It's like
It's a
apply.
great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Tunisium said it in chat. It's like applied materials, like seeing materials interacting with each other and building materials to support the blending of them. Like you don't
Right.
see a lot of material artists making at least I'm not seeing them. I'm also not really looking to find it either, so maybe it's there
Mhm.
and I don't know. But like materials of decals that are to break the road and crack sidewalks and concrete and placing those types of details and masks that make those all blend together in a way where like the decal can rest on top and just make everything
Mhm.
kind of work together.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because then
I
you're
like
just
that
looking
idea a
at a
lot.
little small area. You're not trying to build an entire scene or a giant prop. You're just
Right.
focusing on like material interaction.
That's awesome. That's a great idea for sure.
And you'd get a lot of materials out of that as well, I think. And like
Yeah, it
reuse of
sounds like
stuff.
it, and decals and different. That'd be fun.
Ghost is asking, could you define what applied materials are? So right now, materials that I see are like when you see the spheres here, that's like your standard like, okay, that's a material. Looks cool. Looks good on the sphere, lighting, it's cool. And you can see that the material looks good. But seeing it applied or used in context, yes. That's like the buildings, that's when you really see like, oh, okay. That's how it's being used and like how the material looks on the surfaces that it's intended for versus like a sphere. Like that's when you really start to see, I think, where the material will shine. Because like spheres are really easy, I think, to display the material, and that's not like a disservice to material artists making materials and putting them on a sphere. It's a great way to display the material because you can do point lighting really nicely on it and the displacement. And you can see the depth, but seeing it in context and how it's utilized and how it blends with other materials, that's like when you can see how a material artist is getting everything to work together for the scene overall. That's a big I would say that's a big plus or like a bonus as to how you're making all of the materials sing together. Material artists are like musical conductors. I don't know if that works, but yeah. So you're not in Austin anymore then?
I actually still am in Austin, but I'm
Oh,
like
you're just
remoting in.
remote.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Whoa.
remote right now. Yeah, currently not back to in person. yet.
Yeah,
So
that's really interesting. Man, times have changed. But hopefully you go there at some point and just check out the studio. It's a really interesting place.
wait.
Um, but do you have any other questions before we jump out of here?
I don't think so. But thanks so much for the review. It was really helpful.
Yeah, I'm expecting like a curb now with a drain and all these all these materials.
I wrote it down, so I'm
Yeah,
excited about it. That sounds cool.
yeah. Poke me if you're curious more about like what if some of that didn't make sense or I was just blabbing on and you're like what? But what did you mean?
No, it sounds great. Thanks so much, though.
But cool. Okay, I guess we'll jump out of here then. Thanks for supplying your portfolio for the review as well.
Oh, thank you.
That's super cool. All right, I'll talk to you later then.
All right, talk later.
All
Bye.
right, bye.